Hi, friends. It's so good to be back with you again today. We are continuing our devotions that are based out of the book of Romans. We just launched a brand new series. We're going to be in Romans for the entire summer. And if the next Sundays go anything like this past one, I am beyond excited to continue learning all about the book of Romans. Pastor Bo did an amazing job setting us up, for this series. And so if you haven't had a chance to check that out yet, please, please, please go do so. I believe the Holy Spirit will really speak to you. And it just helps having a backdrop for the book as we begin to jump in together, not just on Sundays, but, as we do these daily devotions all out of the book of Romans. It's really nice to have some context. So thank you, Pastor Bo, for doing that. Today we are in Romans chapter 1, verses 8 through 17. And this is an interesting passage to do some devotions out of because, the book of Romans is actually a letter to the church in Rome. And so Paul sets it up like a letter would be set up, Dear Church of Rome, I love you so much. I miss you. I can't wait to be with you. That's the feel, the vibe that we get from these verses. But there's some spiritual treasure and truths that we can pull from these verses as well. So we're going to read some of them together. It's a lengthy chunk of passage that we're working through today. I'm going to bounce around a little bit. So when you have a few minutes, take some time and read the entirety of the passages or of the passage. But for now, I'm just going to bounce around to save a little bit of time. So starting in verse 8. I thank God through Jesus for every one of you. That's first. People everywhere keep telling me about your lives of faith, and every time I hear them, I thank Him. And God, whom I so love to worship and serve by spreading the good news of His Son, the message, knows that every time I think of you in my prayers, which is practically all the time, I ask Him to clear the way for me to come and see you. The longer this waiting goes on, the deeper I ache. I so want to be there to deliver God's gift in person and watch you grow stronger right before my eyes. Moving down to verse 16, it's news I'm most proud to proclaim. This extraordinary message of God's powerful plan to rescue everyone who trusts Him, starting with the Jews and then right on to everyone else. So we hear and we see in this passage Paul's extreme love for this church in Rome. He aches to see them. He prays for them. That passage said practically all the time. He is consumed with love and care and thoughts and prayers for this group of people. When I look at this passage and I compare it to me and my life, I think, man, I could grow a bit here. I could maybe think of myself less and others more, specifically maybe those entrusted to my care, maybe people in my home church or people on my teams or just even my peers. I could stand to fill my thoughts and my prayers with those around me, those who are learning to love and follow Jesus just like me, and those who have yet to meet and love and follow Jesus. Paul is consumed, like I said, with love for these people and for the gospel of Jesus. He says, down in verse 16, he says that the gospel of Jesus is the news he is the most proud to proclaim. In other translations, you might be familiar with other translations which say, I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. That's basically, that's what he's saying here. What messages do I proclaim? What message am I most proud to proclaim? If I'm being totally honest and vulnerable, I don't think it's the gospel. I think my life is pretty full of a lot of different things, whether it be, stuff with my kiddos, my job, my husband, my friend group. We all have a lot going on, right? And it's really easy to forget the message to be the most proud to proclaim. There's an urgency that you can feel as you read Paul speaking to the Romans. He wants to get there so badly. He wants to continue to proclaim the truth of Jesus to this church. And that's missing in me. an urgency to proclaim the gospel of Jesus for no other reason other than people's lives would be so much better with it. Just knowing Jesus and knowing his love for us, their lives would be better because of him. And so today, I invite you to take a few minutes to examine your hearts, your minds, your lives, the way you spend your time, and ask the Holy Spirit to fill your thoughts, to fill your heart, to fill your prayers with other people, a love for his church, a love for people who are learning to love and follow Jesus, and a love for people who have yet to meet Jesus. Could we ask the Holy Spirit together to change us and to help us maybe follow Paul's example a little bit here in the way that he loves the church of Jesus and the gospel of Jesus Christ? Be encouraged today. I love you all. We'll see you next time.